You OCD?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm not like crazy.
But I feel like that's what crazy people say. Though. It's like, I mean, I'm not like crazy.
I would say I'm OCD because I am the type to, without anyone telling me, like, move shit.
Oh, okay.
Like if
like
this
slowly adjust
just,
things.
Just like now that
picture frame on the wall is slightly
and
like, you know
those are corners. Yeah, I've done that.
This is a 90-degree angle.
And there you go.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Dude, thanks for coming on the show, man.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming.
Been a long time coming, but I know. I don't even know who that song is.
I don't know.
Change gonna come. It's just a song. Yeah.
All right. I don't know that song.
You don't know that at all?
No.
I was gone by the river.
Oh, maybe.
And I know. It's some old black lady singing that.
Okay.
And it sounds like something that would be in the back or front of Color Purple or something, or the Gone with the Wind or something.
Yeah. Like it comes on a jukebox and it just says old black lady.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I think I know.
Aretha or somebody.
Yeah, Aretha and Friends.
Aretha. Aretha and Friends. Maybe Patty.
Maybe. Yeah. Who knows?
Who knows, man?
Yeah, dude. Dude, I've been following you on social media for a while, and we've been friends through the comedy scene for years now.
Definitely years.
It's been actually a long time, so I'm glad that we can actually hang and kick it. And
yeah. I like it. You know, you're the more comic-y of us too. Because I only say that because I know that I met you at an open mic, or I think the first time I might even seen you it was definitely a Laugh Factory open mic or a showcase. But you were doing I think it was one of those things where I enjoyed you because you did impressions as well.
Okay.
And when I saw you on stage, you were doing either a really goofy Jason Statham or a Nicolas Cage or something.
It would have been a Jason Statham.
Yeah. And you were just doing, your act outs were just so big. And it was one of those things where you were you were doing it to the extent where it was it would be a packed house, but it was just 12 comics.
Yep.
It was 12 comics who waited out in front of the Laugh Factory on a Tuesday.
I'd be swinging for the fences. And
but you swing, man, and yeah, but you hit them, man. I love it. It's so funny to me. But yeah, that's where I think I remember at least seeing you. I don't know if we met there or at the store. I have no idea.
Yeah, probably some show or something. I don't remember exactly, but I remember seeing you, and that's one of the things that I appreciated about you. First off, was I was like, oh, this dude does good impressions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where.
Did you start off doing voices as a kid? Because whenever I was young, I found a knack for mimicking cartoons and stuff real early on.
That's all it is.
Yep.
People ask, how do you get into voices? How do you get into voice? Because I do voiceover now.
Yeah.
Which I'm so happy and proud of myself for.
Heck yeah.
And I'm just like, you know that kid who's annoying on the karaoke machine? That's us. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You grow up, you watch shows I don't know, Cartoon Network, Dexter's Lab, and you start to try to do pitches, and you start doing you start doing things that no one is asking you to do.
Yeah.
You're just there, and it's just I think it's just an expressive kid thing.
Yeah, I used to imitate Bobby from Bobby's World all the time.
Oh, Dad, I don't know. Oh, Bobby's World. I thought you said Bobby from King of the Hill.
Oh.
Okay, so you were getting your Howie Mandel on.
Oh, yeah. That Howie on.
I don't know how Howie does that. Because I know him personally because I did a pilot with him, and he doesn't like to be touched. That's a thing I know.
Yeah,
I remember
he's that fist bump
guy.
Yeah.
Even that. But I remember my dad telling me, because I went and auditioned for a Howie's thing, and he knows Howie personally.
Yeah.
He was like, "Oh, you going in for something with Howie? Don't touch him." I was like, "What?" He's like, "That man don't like to be touched." And I was like, "Okay." And then I remember meeting Howie, and in the audition, it was one of those things where I forgot what the show was. It was like a show where he wanted us to, you know how they have bad lip reading on YouTube?
Yeah.
Or bad dubbing? He did a pilot, I think, called Dub Wars. And it was you as a person on the couch sitting around and trying to voiceover dub the characters that were on the screen and just make up something funny off top.
Yeah, make up the voices, make up the funny. Yeah,
yeah. So it was an interesting idea. He loves like pranks. That's like his thing.
Really,
creating like prank related shows.
But Howie, I guess, does a ton of voices because, like, have you ever seen his old stand up?
I've seen him, not old, but I've seen him do stand up recently in the last year or two. Oh, is that you or I?
Son of a gun! I didn't turn off the freaking. I got to turn my.
Well, I'm glad that wasn't
phone
me.
on airplane mode. Son of a. We're getting a phone call actually.
Right? Who is that?
It's Bobby from Bobby's World. Hello, Bobby.
Hello. I just want to call in and ask JD a question.
Oh, what's going on, Bobby?
Hey, have you seen my Uncle Ted recently?
I have not seen your Uncle Ted. Where would he be?
He got a job on Let's Make a Deal. Yeah, he's one of the production managers over there.
He's the one who always goes, "Hey, Bobo."
Yeah, he gave me a lot of noogies.
Oh, Bobby.
All right, we lost Bobby. I don't know if that was very awkward. Usually the phone ringing doesn't come through the speakers on the podcast, but I guess Bobby, he probably heard. Sometimes whenever people hear us talking about them out there, they end up calling into the show. So it's just one of those awkward situations that, I had to drop that call.
Oh, all right. There we go.
Dude, so I think this is funny. So you just did of course, like a spot on impression of your dad.
Yeah.
And I only found out, I literally want to say very recently.
No way.
That was your dad.
That's funny. That's funny.
His dad's a great comedian, John Witherspoon.
John Witherspoon.
And I grew up watching your dad.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things. Whenever I found out, I'm like, I am an idiot. Like I never.
I like that though. I never showcase it. Like
which I actually appreciate.
It's one of those things.
I've known you for years, and I literally found out like probably 4 months ago.
Oh, that's bad.
I know.
That's really bad.
I think I saw like an Instagram post or something
with him in it.
Yeah, and I was just like, I literally, whenever like at the end of a movie, like they're like, it was in front of me the whole time.
Yeah, full circle. No.
Yeah.
No, my dad's a comic and whatnot. He's actually one of the founding dudes of the Comedy Store. Like, he was a door dude.
Man.
He's an OG door dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the strike and all that. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah, he was a part of their history. Like that building was built on his back along with a bunch of other comics like him, Dreesen, Letterman, Tim Reed, I believe, Mooney Twins, Pryor, all those old school dudes. Dude who's doing the doc for the what's it called?
Yeah.
What's his name?
I'm interested.
Binder? Mike Binder.
Okay. Yeah.
He works in the production office, I guess, there or something like that.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see how that turns out.
Yeah, I only know because the other day I went with him, or I didn't go with him, but I had an audition. But I was like, "What are you doing today, man?" He was like, "Man, I'm taking myself to the Comedy Store." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "Why would you go there?" I remember the last time I asked him, "Do you want to roll with me to the clubs?" He was like, "Oh no, JD." He said, "I worked so hard to never have to go back." And I was like, and I was like, okay, well, whatever, never mind. And then the other day he was like, "Yeah, I'm going over there." He's like, "They want to interview me, do some little documentary." He's like, "They keep calling me, so I guess I got to go." And I was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Well, if you need a ride, I'll take you." And he was like, "I'll probably be there by then, but if you want to come by, you can come hang out." And then I went and did an audition, and then came and swung by on my way back to work, and it was just him and Binder sitting there talking about the store and Mitzi and all this stuff, and they were hanging out in the OR in the original room, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. I want to see it. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Because did you go to the funeral?
I did.
Okay, I missed the funeral. I was trying to tell him to come. I was like, we should go, but I was busy that day, and he was like, "I ain't going to that funeral." He's like, he's like, "I ain't going to that funeral, Mitzi, unless Mitzi gonna come up out the ground." He's like, I don't want nothing to do. But
it was interesting because he would have definitely saw you know, a ton of people from his class and everything.
Yeah.
But it was weird because comics, I've been to a handful of comics funerals now, unfortunately. And there's always a couple comics who use it as a chance to get stage time. And it's very slimy and weird. It's really
stage time, or just get like revenge on the grave?
No. There's people who like, they don't get up enough, and rather than just doing their thing, like talking about the person who passed away, they are trying to slide in like bits and stuff.
In the eulogy?
Yeah, man.
Oh,
it's
no.
freaking.
I thought you meant like they go and they're like, I thought you meant they go and they see like Adam or somebody and they're like, hey, Adam, you know.
Hey, man, I know this isn't the best time right now.
Hey, kind of awkward.
Yeah, I know, like.
Maybe.
I know another spot just opened because.
Let's be real. You wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me, like an older comic who just doesn't get up anymore, who wants to get back on stage.
No.
So, I'm a paid regular. My name's on the thing.
I saw some old cats that were running some material that I was just like, what are you doing right now? Like, they're getting light.
But you know, four dudes, or not just dudes, but any comedian, female, male, that's kind of like their coping thing, though. Unfortunately, because my dad does that.
It's like, what else are we gonna do?
Whenever I get real with my dad, it turns into a set. And I'm like, dude, I'll like try to get him to talk about eating healthy, stop drinking wine, and he'll be like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that. JD, you know, you right. I need to stop drinking the grapes, the juice from the earth. Oh my goodness, it's so bad. And you know, I'm gonna stop doing it as soon as I stop making all this money. I'm like, this is.
That is. I mean, I know he's your dad, but that is such a good impression.
Thank you, I appreciate that. You know, it's one of the ones that I picked up without realizing I had it. But like, I remember I used it. Do you remember when they were trying to do that in Living Color reboot?
Yeah.
Did you audition for it?
I did. Yeah,
me too.
I went to producers and stuff for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I went in and I did that, and they were like, Pops, how do you do that one? I was like, oh, I have personal experience.
Yeah.
But
I remember whenever I auditioned for In Living Color, and I, you know, looking back at like the tape and stuff, I'm actually surprised that I
made it,
that I even got as far as I did. But like, I remember being in front of Keenan Ivory Wayans, and I was doing these different characters and stuff, and I did a character that went to the floor that was like super physical. And I don't know why, I'll never forget this, but he stood up because he was so like, what's happening?
That's dope.
Like, he stood up out of his seat to see like, what is this crazy dude doing right now?
Dope.
When everybody else, you know how like how chill people are at auditions.
Producers,
they're just like,
executives.
But it was just like, I don't know. I didn't get a call after that, but I was just like, I don't know why. Well, that was just something that stuck out.
It was canceled. You didn't get a call, not because you weren't good.
Though.
Did they?
They did. They shot a pilot that never. I
know. James Davis was writing on it.
Josh Duvendek was like the white guy. Do you know him? Yeah, he's a funny comic. He's like big in the improv world, but he used to do a lot of mics and stuff. But he was cast as like the white guy on the show.
See, but
it's crazy.
But Keenan probably wanted you because you were second coming of Jim Carrey. But then the rest of them were like, I don't know.
This isn't conventional.
Yeah. How will this play?
It's a little bit too out there.
How will this play in, what was that, 2010? 11 maybe?
I mean, well, I'm throwing my body around this audition room on the carpet and stuff like that. What was your audition like for that show?
Mine was kind of crappy. I did a bunch of characters, but you know what it was? They had like lost the budget on the casting director.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So they lost because I was later auditions when they were like still looking, and
that's when I was too.
Yeah,
they'd already been through one or two casting directors. At that point.
I just got a call and went in, and basically I went in, and there was no casting lady. There was just the camera lady, which she's a good friend of mine now, but she was not the nicest thing. And I'm not gonna say her name because I've worked with her now today, but. But she was not impressed about anything. She was just like, yeah, do your characters, blah, blah, blah. I did them. And then I was like, she like got me. She was about to be like, all right, thanks. I was like, wait, can I do impressions too? She was like, oh, you do impressions? And I was like, yes. And then I went and like, mind you, the callback or the audition room and the waiting room are like right next to each other.
Yeah.
So I'm doing these characters and then I jump into impressions. The whole room next to me is cracking up. I can hear them through the door. Like they're on the tape. Like, because I went and started doing voices. I started doing impressions. I did like a Cat Williams bit. I did like a Will Smith something bit. I don't know what I did. But it was like she wasn't phased, but the waiting room was like, ha ha! Like it was
wow.
And I'm just sitting back like, oh, well, I'm crushing for somebody.
Yeah.
And I don't even think I got a call after. I saw Keenan in the lobby on the way out, and no, it wasn't Sean. I just saw Keenan, and he was like, oh man, what you doing? You come in here to do this too, huh? Okay, huh? And I was like, yeah, man, book me. Like, it was like that. That's all I could think of. But then the lady who was doing the camera / casting, because I know she was frustrated because she was doing double work. And she was only meant to do the camera work.
Hats.
Yeah. So then they ended up like pushing her, which is funny because now she is a casting lady.
Oh, there you go.
So can't burn that bridge. But I remember just like her not being into it at all. But now she literally calls me for projects like all the time, which full circle. But yeah, that was fun.
You know what's weird? I said sometimes this happens on the show, and it's crazy. I'm actually seeing on my caller ID that Cat Williams is actually calling into the show right now. Hello, is this Mr. Cat Williams?
Yes, it is, boo-boo. Now, wait a minute. I hear this little pimp talking about he's so funny. He doing this. He doing voices. I don't even understand it, boo-boo. But how you doing, Jeremiah? How is your day?
I'm doing pretty good. I don't know if you remember this, but you actually tried to fight my friend Jamar Neighbors one time.
Oh, Jump. Wait a minute now. That little chocolate biscuit came after me first. I seen him in his Timberlands, sounding like Dave Chappelle, and I told myself, I gotta tell this brother right off what is happening. But no, I did not mean to fight him. He was speaking to the inner demons within my beanie.
Okay, I gotta ask, how high are you right now?
Now, wait a minute, boo-boo. If I was high, then I wouldn't be flying on cloud 9. I would be soaring across the skies with my toupee. I am very high right now.
Okay, this is really weird. I didn't even know that you had a brother. He's actually calling in the show right now. It says that Rat Williams is calling into the show right now. Hello?
Hello, brothers and sisters. How are we doing today?
Oh, is that you, Rat? How you doing, Rat?
It's me, Rat, your brother.
Yes.
Hey, I just called to say, are you gonna be at the next family reunion?
Now, you know I don't mess with our family, Rat, because my family is always trying to take my money. So, no, I will not be at that family reunion. It ain't nothing but a congregation of people trying to take my coin.
Well, you still owe me $42.
Rat, it seems I can't hear you, Rat. Rat, what is that? I think I'm cutting out, Rat.
I think we lost Rat. I don't know what happened.
I tell you, boo-boo, now that is what
I'm
Rat...
still on the line. And you still
okay,
owe me
Rat, I got
$42.
to go, boo-boo, bye-bye.
All right, we lost Cat and Rat Williams. Man,
brothers.
As soon as money got involved,
man.
The phone conversation
Family.
started. I know, just butting heads, man.
You can't do it, man.
Dude.
Family, man. Money ruins all.
I know,
and
right?
it's the only thing we're searching for. I like it, right? Gotta get it.
Gotta get to that next part.
That would be funnier, or that's funnier to me when I see a comedian or an entertainer who's like, well, why do you do this?
Yeah.
Why else? Gotta get paid. Like no.
I got into comedy for the paper.
yeah.
The paper trail.
No, my dad told me that one time because and this is probably the funniest, not even the funniest story, but this is just one of the stories that he told me. I was like, hey man, he's from Detroit, Michigan. He had 11 brothers and sisters growing up. So times were tough. And I was like, Dad, why did you? What is it that I like? I asked him when I first started doing stand up, like as an aspiring comic, because he's a like a wealth of knowledge right there.
Of course,
like people
he's
always
a
ask
seasoned
me,
vet, man.
Yeah, people are always like, oh, you must be able to get like so much information from him, this and that, blah blah blah. I was like, no, not really. Me and my dad, we don't. Not that we're not close. Just he's not. My dad's no Will Smith. He's not just gonna give me the keys to all of success like Will does for Jaden,
Sure.
Like Will Smith is very much like, I want my family to succeed. I want this and I want that. Like my dad's just like, I gotta get my money. But I remember I asked him, I was like, Dad, what made you want to do stand-up? I was like, what was the defining moment that made you want to become a comic? And he was like, what? He was like, defining moment. I was broke. And I was like, okay, yeah. So
I was broke and funny.
Yeah, I was like, okay, so you're broke. I don't even think he thought he was funny. He literally just went for it. He was like in Detroit, and I think he said he worked at a factory when he was younger, and then he also did modeling ads in cigarette magazines and like little magazines back in Detroit. And he has
now his baby boy's doing vape ads.
Right?
It's full circle. That'd be so funny. He's like, Pops, guess what happened? I'm the new face of Jewel.
Yeah, right. I'm the new Jewel guy.
Yeah.
But no, he literally was. Yeah, he's just doing that back in Detroit, and then eventually he was like, I guess he just sat back and said, I don't know why he pursued entertainment. I don't even have that information, but I just said, what made you want to do stand-up? And he made me want to do it. I was broke and I wanted money. And I was like, so you just wanted to be a comic? He's like, well, people told me I was funny, so I just went to California. I just thought that was where I should go. And then I was like, that is such a long shot.
Yeah.
But I was like, great, you did it. But I was like, that is just irresponsible. I would not recommend that to anyone.
Dude, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I literally grew up watching him on Wayne's Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And he was genuinely one of my favorite parts of that show.
Yeah, no.
He's a killer.
Oh, no, yeah. No, he's a scene stealer, bro. That's his thing.
Right?
Oh, he is.
Like, something else would be going on in that show, and I'm just like, this dude.
Yeah, no, he will like preach that proudly. He'd be like, JD, they can't hire me because when they put me on the show, I'm too damn funny. he's like, I'm too damn funny. And next thing you know, because that literally happened for him in Black Jesus, that show that Aaron McGruder, who created the Boondocks, had also created a show called Black Jesus, which I think season 1 and 2 were on Adult Swim. I'm not sure. They did a season 3, but I don't know if it's coming out on Adult Swim or if they maybe got picked up by Hulu or Netflix or something.
Yeah.
You never know nowadays. But he was telling me that literally because I remember I went out for that. I went out to play like one of the younger guys in the crew and didn't book it. And mind you, I was like telling my dad, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going out for Aaron's new project. And I knew Aaron over the years because he had done Boondocks with my dad. And my dad was like, oh, that's nice. You going out for a new show with Aaron? That's great. Good for you. Have fun. And then 3 weeks later, he was like, I was like, so what do you, he was like, hey JD, how is that show that Aaron's creating? Because they want me to come in and want me to play a homeless man. And he said it's just about 2-3 lines for one episode, but whatever. And I was like, oh, I don't know. I was like, it looks like it could be a fun show. I was like, if you have fun on the show, because obviously he doesn't have to audition. They just book him because he's been working with that guy for however long. And then he said that they went and shot the episode, and like within like minutes of them finishing the day, Aaron was like, hey John, do you just want to like be this character and we can just write him into the show? and he calls me and my dad tells me he's like, hey, so I guess I'm gonna be doing that show with Aaron. I was like, what do you mean? More than one episode? He was like, I guess I'm just a series regular now. I was like,
co-star to series regular.
I was like, well, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Not like I didn't audition and want to book something, but literally that's what happens. He went in, and like the original cast of that show was like not really a bunch of comics. It was it's like the character who's supposed to be centered around it is the homie Slink Johnson, tall black dude.
Yeah.
And he's funny, but he's not really a traditional stand-up or anything. He's just like a funny dude who worked, I think, on a production back on the Boondocks. he was just a funny dude in the room. And Aaron, like I think he might have been a writer on the Boondocks or something like that.
And Aaron wanted to make a show around this guy.
And then they used to make skits around it back when the Boondocks had a YouTube channel. Because I remember watching these things, and they made skits around him, and he was a really funny dude. But then he was like, "Well, let's turn those skits into a show." The show turns into that, and then after it turns into that, I think they realized like, oh, we can't really do a whole show around him and a bunch of like not necessarily no name actors, but like I know that Batch was on it, and this other girl who I think her name is like Kiki something, I don't know, but it was a bunch of characters who didn't really make you want to tune in. It was like they were more story driven. So then out of nowhere, Charlie Murphy auditions for it. Hilarious, crushes whatever character. Not even a character who I don't even think was supposed to be in it, but then crushes it. He's part of the cast. My dad goes in to play a 1-episode role. Next thing you know, they're like, let's just book John because he's funny.
Yeah. And
then they got Corey Holcomb, who's also hilarious. So you have 3 comics who aren't supposed to be the center or focal point of the show who immediately become the main characters of the show.
That's what happens on some shows. Sometimes is the supporting cast is sometimes more interesting than the main character.
Way more.
A lot of times.
Yeah, that happens. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Is it intimidating for you ever because your dad is like revered as like this staple in the scene? Is that intimidating for you as a stand-up to try to break into some of these clubs and stuff and like the road and all that stuff? Is it daunting ever?
I wouldn't say it's daunting. I would say if anything, it's kind of like it's kind of like what do you call that? Not a get out jail free card, but it's kind of like a pass. Honestly, if I wanted to use his name, I probably could be a regular at a bunch of these places.
Right.
I don't want to though, because I don't think it's like not necessarily. Not that I wouldn't do it just because I'm like I don't think I'm even regular ready. I'd rather I'd rather people want me on the show because they want me on the show. Of course. But no, it's not. I never thought of it as daunting because I never consider myself someone. I never thought to myself, "Oh, I remind myself of my dad."
Well, you guys,
I feel like we're
so
two
different.
completely different people.
Which that's what is hard about some of the other comics in the scene
who try to want to be their dad.
Well, and they're stylistically,
literally, they are their dad.
Yeah.
Oh no, I think that's the worst thing you could ever do.
Yeah.
You very much should just should be just a reference point.
It's that Michael Jordan son syndrome where it's like, oh, your son plays basketball.
But you know what? Maybe that's why I don't want to do it. My dad was no Michael Jordan.
right.
But he's definitely a legend. But it's one of those things where I remember I jokingly called him a D-lister. I was like, who do you think you are, you old D-list ass dude? He was like, D-list? What the hell you talking about? I was like, you ain't no. I was like, I was like, you're one of the best comics ever out here. But I was like, you ain't in the same breath as like Eddie Murphy. No one's saying that. No one even knows you do stand up consistently still. He's like, shit. He's like, well, I still get all this paper on the road, so somebody know. So, but no, I mean, I think it's like it's not necessarily daunting as much as it's just one of those things where it's like I've watched him and I've opened for him before and done the road with him and hosted on shows with him, and it's one of those things where I like sit back and say, well, I wish I hope I can be as funny as him.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah.
But I know I'm capable because I've already like done some of the road gigs with him and crushed just as hard, you know.
Sure.
Not necessary, but you know, he crushes for other reasons. He crushes because we came to see him. You know, we came to see Pops. We came to see the dad from Friday, the whatever granddad on the Boondocks. Yeah. So his jokes are like the icing on the cake. It's like I came to just enjoy you. And you're this funny? Because he could just be like an older dude.
He could just be telling stories or whatever. A lot of people get away with that on the road where they're just like, oh, this and this. And people are just like, I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, they're enamored. So I think it's one of those things where he has the chops to like do all that stuff. And I know that I'm capable. So I think it's never been daunting because I've never wanted to follow. It was never like me be in its shadow. I always felt like
he's been supportive of whenever you're like, Dad, I want to do comedy.
Yeah, I think he how do I explain? He's very hands off.
Gotcha.
He's a hands off approach
very
type of dad.
laissez-faire, like, yeah, you do you.
Yeah, no, he's very much like, I can't make you famous. I'm not he's like, people always ask me like growing up, like, oh man, well, it must be easy for you. Like, now that you want to be an entertainer, it must be easy. Your dad could probably just get you roles. I'm like, what roles are my dad getting that could transfer over to me?
Right.
Like,
I'm not going to be able to fill that slot.
yeah,
you
no,
know?
I'm not pushing the 60 to 80 market in my material, but like I will be realistic and be like, well, if he does a show and maybe he sees a character that's in my age range, he could tell producers.
Yeah.
But he doesn't do that either.
Yeah.
He's just a dad. He doesn't, and like I kind of respect him for that because like it teaches me to not want to like leech off of him or anybody else. You just
Sure.
got to make your own lane.
Well, it makes you work harder as a performer and like, appreciate like, oh, this is
because you get way more validation. I would not feel.
Well, that's why I appreciate you have never. That's what's crazy to me is I've known you for years and you never brought that up, and I didn't know about it.
I only mention it if someone says, "What do your parents do?"
Right,
and then I awkwardly.
you're like, well,
imagine you ask me that, and I'm like, come here, and I walk you to the front of the store and show you pictures because he's in there.
Yeah,
and that shit it's cool. I like it. I think it's very cool, and I'm proud of him for it. But it's one of those things where like, the only time that conversation gets awkward is if someone who you can see like is like a secretive leech, that's the only time it's awkward. Or if like back in high school or in college, I had friends who would introduce me like that because they thought it was impressive. I was like, don't do that. People,
that's weird.
Yeah, people. Well, wouldn't. They would like use it for them to pick up chicks.
Of course. Oh, you know this?
Do you know his dad is an entertainer? I was like,
See you later, JD.
But mind you, I'm like, I don't think you guys realize who my dad is. Like, yes, he's done work, but it's like he has a very not necessarily niche market. Like a lot of people know him, but in this day and age, like you would have to like be someone who was in that era to show your like younger generation who he was, or he'd have to be on some new stuff.
Yeah.
Also, it's just one of those things where I'm like, hey, you're not pitching like LeBron James to him. You know that, right? You're pitching like a Zabonis, like you're pitching like someone on the team who's seasoned. Yeah, but isn't like the star.
I like to think that friend of yours who is doing that, he starts getting like real desperate to get girls, and he starts like finding like really really obscure things to like, hey, this is my friend right here. Yeah. He is the cousin of the caterer who did the movie Mouse Hunt.
Right. And I'm not even using it. I'm not trying to crap on my dad. He has like an amazing legacy because a lot of people, I'm sure, if they would listen or watch this, they would say, "You're crazy, dude. Your dad's famous as F."
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, he definitely. There was definitely a point in his career where he we go to malls. He couldn't walk around. Because
is that weird to see as a kid or young? Like
as a kid, it's just frustrating because you want to go to the mall.
You just want to hang out with your dad.
Yeah, like I mean,
and they're asking for pictures or whatever.
I never felt. I mean, no, like I think it was one of those things where my thing is, my dad's went through that already, right? That whole era of like, oh, I can't go in public. If I go in public, people going to try to stalk me, this, that, blah, blah, blah. But the funny thing is he tries to do it now. And I'm like, yes, you would be stopped if you were just out and about. But I was like, dude, put on some glasses, put on a hat. Only the purest of fans are gonna stop you. I was like, oh, it's been 20 years since then. We can walk around the mall now. Yeah. like, don't worry, dude. These kids at Forever 21 are gonna stop you and be like, were you in Friday After Next? These kids who were born when Friday After Next came out. So
I remember one of the first times I saw where I looked at fame as like a very like a weird thing. It was the first time I felt like, oh, this is like really weird. Was I saw it firsthand whenever I was doing Bonnaroo with the goddamn comedy jam with Josh Adam Myers and that whole crew. Mm-hmm. We were hanging with Adam Devine, and there was literally this section in Bonnaroo that we could cut through, and we're like, oh yeah, let's just cut through and like we'll get over there to the venue. And Adam Devine goes, honestly, like it'll be faster if we walk all the way around. We're like, what? Mm-hmm. He goes, I'll get stopped too many times. He's
Yeah.
like, if I like, he goes, I usually don't turn people down for pictures, and like,
Yeah, we'll be
usually-
here for an extra 30
yeah,
minutes.
we'll be here like an extra 30 minutes just trying to go through. And I was like, oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, and he's got a very like recognizable face, like, and he's recognizable look. And he was an improv guy, wasn't he? Wasn't he?
He worked at the improv.
A door dude at the improv.
Door guy at the improv.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love hearing stories.
I love
like
that. That's so dope.
I mean, it's just more inspiring for all of us. It's that's amazing.
Yeah, like
I think they sold Workaholics like while he was like a door guy there or something like that.
And that show's hilarious. I watched it all the way through.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, I know what you mean, because like I think it's one of those things when it's your like parent who is, or someone personally, like in your family who's like well known or famous, because to me that's different, because like you're looking at them as like an elder and a mentor. You just kind of see like that whole fame thing
That side, yeah,
as a part as just a part of their job. So I didn't really look at it at all in a big way, but I remember being out with some like internet friends who are like real big.
Yeah.
I remember one time we were out and we were hanging out and we were just, I think we were at the Grove.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were at the Grove, literally we were getting stopped every few minutes because like one or two of them was like, I don't know, like 10 or 8 million followers on, it was either Instagram or Vine or something like that. And I was sitting back like, dang, I didn't really contemplate just hanging out and spending time would be like this. Or I've had times where like I've been recognized and I'm usually ecstatic. I'm like, what? You know me? That's cool. Okay. Hey, can you send me a copy? Like, yo, I'm the worst. I'm one of the guys where I'm like, well, maybe I should take a picture. Because they're like, can we get a pic? And I'm like, can I get a pic? Because I'm like, I want to, so that's how you know I haven't hit fame, where I haven't just brushed it off. Like, no.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. But no, I genuinely am excited when people know my name or just like say hi to me. Because I remember one kid, I was in Burbank going to the movies with my friends. And I think we were going to go, I don't know what we're going to go see. It doesn't matter. But this kid, like, we're walking past these cars. This kid gets out of the car. And like he sees me and he's like, JD? And I'm like, random kid? Like I didn't know who he was. And he just walked up to me and he was like, dude, I watch your stuff, bro. Like he knew my like internet videos and all this jazz and had seen me do other things. And I was like, oh, dope. Like, let's take a picture, this and that. And like the moment that happens with my personal friends who like aren't in entertainment at all. Yeah. It's super funny because they just start whispering. They're like, JD's so famous.
Oh,
JD's
making fun of
so famous.
Yeah.
Look how famous he is. And it's funny, but it's just like, I don't see it as like, I just see it as like, oh, these are just people who enjoy what I do. I don't really see it as fame. Like if I was like, on another stratosphere and wasn't so personal with the type of stuff that I did, like how in the old days, like movies, TV, you never imagine you really could connect with these people.
I heard there's a Christmas movie coming out this year, actually, that is starring Denzel Washington and Jason Statham.
Okay.
And the premise behind the movie is they have a shopping list of items to get for their family, and they're trying to get in and out of the mall without being recognized and stopped by people.
The worst.
Yeah. And the trailer actually just dropped recently. I don't know if maybe we could. I mean, I don't have the audio feed coming in, but maybe we could do it. We could like if we want to like maybe do our interpretation.
Sure.
Of that.
I'm down.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Okay. The Mr. Movie voice is coming on right now.
This Christmas.
Okay. Wow. This is exciting.
It looks good.
Yeah. Denzel.
Yeah.
Okay. He's coming out of the car. This is good. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Statham is coming out on the other side of the SUV. There. It's a buddy movie. This is wild.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Hey, Denzel. Hey, we're gonna get this shopping list for our family.
Yeah, we do. Huh? Okay, all right. Look, I've got
What do you got on your list?
I see. I've got
Make sure you check it twice.
I'm gonna. Okay, all right. I see that we got. We gotta get a basketball. Huh?
I gotta get a lacrosse stick.
A lacrosse stick. Okay, all right.
I gotta teach my daughter self-defense.
Okay,
so
now
she can
look,
stick
we
it
got
through the throat of a criminal.
We got a oldie but a goodie. I see we got 3 Furbies on this list, huh?
Where are we gonna find damn Furbies? They haven't been released since 2001.
We gotta go to a vintage shop and we gotta make sure that we can find all the Furbies. I need to get one in the color pink, specifically. That's what we gotta do.
Where did you go just now?
I just went.
I saw you ponder for a moment.
You know,
and you went somewhere.
You know, I was thinking. Maybe eBay, maybe Groupon would have some Furbies, but I
eBay can't deliver in 12 hours.
You're right.
We gotta do this stat. We gotta make this job clean.
That's right. Hey, what do you recommend?
All right, we need to do it in and we need to do it out. Put your leather gloves on. Put your ski masks on. People can't recognize us, all right?
Yeah.
It's got to be in and out. We're going to be stuffed for photos at any mark.
Any more? Okay. Oh, here comes the pops. Paparazzi. Okay. Huh? Look away. Look away.
I can't look away. Let's kill him.
All right, let's do it. Hey. Okay. All right, my man.
You're a lot slower than I remember from the Equalizer. Denzel, why are you so out of breath right now?
I'm out of breath because I've been working on these films doing the exact same roles for the last 24 years, and I don't know if I can do this anymore,
Is this starting to get to you, Denzel?
It's starting, it's been trying to get to me ever since I was making, we almost made a Training Day too. But we didn't make that one because it was just too much King Kongs in this Pelican Bay.
You didn't like becoming a meme, did you?
No, I didn't like it.
That meme culture has changed your life, hasn't it?
That meme culture it just puts you in a place. I can't let my face turn into Michael Jordan crying meme, huh? Because when he cries, it makes me sad.
They Michael Jordan in my face after one of the Fast and Furiouses, and it was infuriating to me, actually.
Hey, speaking of a good movie, I like your Fast and Furious. You think maybe I could get a maybe a guest role?
I mean, if you want to help steal a car or something, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I'm very good under the hood.
You could be the good cop that goes bad, kind of like Training Day.
I think that might be good for me. Okay, all right, my man. Huh?
That's a deal.
Oh wait, so this is where the trailer gets a little funky, like we're watching it. That was kind of a long trailer also, but they started pitching ideas for another movie within that trailer.
Oh my good. Okay.
Huh. That was kind of strange.
Yeah, they were doing a lot.
Yeah. Oh no. There's there's audio commentary by Michael Caine.
Oh my!
Is this
goodness.
a DVD? This is a DVD that's playing. This isn't a trailer. What
is,
did I put in?
I don't know. There's no buttons either to push. It just plays.
It just plays. I don't know what's going on.
It's just Michael Caine sad about the fact that he didn't get a role in this film. He's working crafty on this film.
Wow. And do you know what's so weird? I didn't know that Michael Caine had a brother, dude.
Uh-oh.
They're both on screen venting about how they're not involved in this movie and the other Christmas movies that they should be in.
Yeah, definitely. Oh man,
let's see what that looks like.
Look at him go.
Huh. Right. See, the thing is, I just wish that they would cast me in more than one movie at a time. I've only done Batman in the last 12 years. It's terrible.
Listen. This is not the career path that I thought that I needed.
Not at all.
Listen, we've got to get back on our horse. And we've got to get back up there. Because there's so many people out there that don't even realize what we have under our belts.
There's so many people. I don't understand.
I had to open a damn Caine store. Michael Caine's House of Caines.
Michael Caine's House of Caines.
Michael Caine's House of Caines.
How did they even come to put Denzel and Jason Statham in a movie together when
we could easily play the father? It's like Jason Statham. How have I not played your father in one movie?
Yes. You both have accents.
It's like, I don't care if we're from different parts of the UK.
Yeah.
People in America are bloody stupid. They have no idea what parts of Europe are which. So I could easily be Jason Statham's father.
Easily. And if I wanted to, I could be Denzel's stepdaddy.
Don't cry. You're going to make me cry.
I could be Denzel.
You're going to make me cry
You know,
right now.
It's because I failed you. My career is supposed to be booming and out the roof.
But right now, it's not.
Not at all.
You know what? I was friends with Morgan Freeman for the longest time. And then he got in trouble. And now, I'm the last old man standing.
The last one.
The last one.
The last
It's
one.
actually, the movie pitch is what I'm going to be called. It's going to be
I
called
heard
the,
it's the
it's going to
last
be
one.
called The Last One.
It's a good movie.
The Last One is actually a good title for a
I wanna-
movie. It's just me and none of my old friends are around me. It's me spreading their ashes, going on a buddy movie.
It's just you. At a cards table with no one to play. Just dealing them out to everyone here.
It's me playing Scrabble by myself. It's me at a nursing home just rocking away. Just me.
Just
And I'll tell you,
counting the steps on a Monopoly board. Just so sad.
the saddest thing about cards is the dealer always wins. But when there's no dealer, you don't win either.
You don't win anything.
You don't win anything
You just deal
with it.
with your emotions.
Another
Wow.
very
Coming this summer.
Whoa, that was good.
Wow, I thought it was a DVD, but whenever it said coming this summer, that really wrapped it up.
So it was, man, the commentary was its own film.
I guess so. Did we
Man.
just watch a short film?
I think we watched about 3.
We did. My buddy Alex Negrete. We did. You and I have done some animated voiceover for those anime.
We did both work on
anime
those.
rap battles.
Yeah, we worked
forever
on
ago.
those, but we never saw each other working on them.
No, like we
because I
were
would do them from home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, dude. You did like Kanye. I did
Yeah.
Michael Caine. I did Keanu Reeves in
Yeah,
one.
I did Kanye, and I did the Old Spice. Did I do Old Spice?
Ladies, look at your man. Now back to me. Now back to your man. Now back to me.
That was I used to love doing those.
Nice.
I remember I don't know if I did the Old Spice guy or if I did the Terry Crews version, the pow pow pow, whatever he was doing in the commercials.
Yeah. Like we're not getting any audio.
Terry
It's-
likes to yell.
It's just chest flexing.
Yeah.
That's just his entire impression. It's just
power. Yeah. Dude, Terry Crews, what a great career.
oh, dude.
Yeah, he's dope.
Yeah.
He's literally like the epitome of just
Dude, he started popping up. He's one of those guys. You talk about a scene stealer. Holy
Oh, yeah,
shnikes. He had the smallest thing. Do you remember like I think The Longest Yard was one of the first films.
Burger Dude.
Yeah,
Yep.
Cheeseburger Eddie or whatever.
Yep.
Like, dude, him having cheeseburgers and then he would just be flexing his pecs and
Yeah,
stuff.
you got to watch. I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was GQ or some. I think it was GQ's YouTube channel. They have like a 20 questions thing with actors, and they were asking him like his biggest, like him talking about his career and like what moments defined him. And he said like The Longest Yard, because he was just security on Training Day. That's how he got in Training Day, because he was just in there and they were like. He was just like, you got to work for free sometimes. They would just call he said, I think Antoine Fuqua directed that. And he said, just, if you keep coming back, this and that, man, I got a job for you. Just hang out. You can be security and I'll put you in scenes. And he said he was like wanting to be an actor at that point. So just next thing you know, he's like in the movie. Cause he was in that King Kong ain't got it on me scene. He was in it. Like he was in the background, fuzzy, foreground, whatever.
Right.
But he was there. Like I was like, Terry Crews? Like
Yeah.
now that you know who he is.
Oh, it's so bizarre.
And now he's hilarious on everything he does.
Yep.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine is hilarious
Yeah.
because of him.
He's great on there.
Oh no, he's awesome. Yeah, no, and he stole the movie in White Chicks.
Oh, dude, that whole character, him being
Dude.
so into,
Negro, please. That was
so funny.
No, he's great.
Dude, you're a big gamer too.
I do. I game. I do.
Game,
I
and
do.
you host like gaming shows, and you do like, is it Twitch that you do a lot, or do you do?
I'm originally a YouTube guy.
You're a YouTube guy,
and
gotcha.
I originally started on YouTube posting sketches, videos. I think it was one of those things where when I started knowing I wanted to be an actor, I just out of nowhere was like, well, I'm not booking anything, so maybe I can make my own stuff. And I started making skits. And skits eventually became kind of hard to produce on my own once a week because that's what I was trying to do, was trying to do like a sketch a week.
That's what I was doing back in the day too.
Yeah, and my thing was like, I went to like, I started watching some other content creators who were using really like high-end cameras, and I was like, I want mine to look like that because they look like short TV scenes.
Yeah.
So I started investing in cameras and learning about lighting and film equipment and editing software. And then I went to film school for a short amount of time. And then I remember I got an F on some sort of like stupid, like, it was like script theory class. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I just left because I was like, I know I don't need it to be in the industry.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I started doing that and learning how to film and all this stuff and shoot my own stuff. And then after sketches kind of like fell by the wayside, I was like, well, what else do I like to do that I know I'm going to do all the time and just do it for free anyway? And I was like, oh, I like playing video games. I was like, I'll be playing Pokemon probably till I'm 80.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, maybe I should film it. And the main reason I wanted to film it because I always had friends who would lie about when they won in certain games. And I was like, oh, dude, we're going to have receipts, bro. We're going to have the freaking tapes. No way.
Here's the freaking proof,
yeah, I'm gonna,
bro.
yeah, like if people are like, oh, no, I whooped you that one time, I'll be like,
Pull it up.
Google it, put it up on YouTube. The footage of me waxing that ass. So yeah, that was it. Now I do it consistently now, and I've been doing it for like, oh my goodness, like 3 or 4 years, maybe 5. I don't know when I started my gaming channel. It was like 2013. Maybe that's 6. That's 6 years. Got to count. Wow. But yeah, so I do that. I stream on Twitch too. Twitch is like to me the better streaming website, but I like create and film gaming videos for YouTube and then stream on Twitch.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And you're a big Smash Brothers guy, right?
Oh, that's my game, man.
Yeah.
That's my game.
Yeah.
Like if anyone says they play it, I'm like, sure you do. Like, cause I have friends who do that. You have friends who are like, oh, Street Fighter? Man, I'm nice at Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I'm like, who do you play? And then there'll be like, oh, I'm Ryu, Ken, Blanca, that B button where the electricity. I'm like, you don't play this game, bro.
Shut up.
I'm like, we should play sometime. And then I'll wash them and they're like, oh, you cheat though. All you do is combos. I'm like, yes, I'm washing you, dude. But yeah, no, Smash Brothers is like day one. That's I want to say it's my favorite game. Yeah. Between that and Halo, those are the 2 most impactful games I've ever played.
Okay.
Yeah, Halo.
Are you there in video game history? Those are your 2.
Those are my 2.
Impacted you the most?
Yeah. The most hours spent. Like I'm thinking hundreds of thousands of hours spent.
For me, I'm gonna say GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Is gotta be up there for sure. Because, dude, the amount...
That's like the first first person shooter.
Yeah.
Like, there were other games that were Doom and other stuff and whatnot.
That was, like, the one that was like, oh, this actually, like, looks really good and it plays.
And the story.
And there's so many features and everything, too.
Yeah.
The multiplayer?
Oh, don't even...
Don't be screen looking.
Screen checking. Don't even...
My brother gets so pissed at me. Like, you're screen looking.
I remember when Halo was real big, because I got a lot of friends into it. We did LAN parties so we didn't have to use each other's screens. Like we would do like 4 consoles in 4 different rooms.
Yep.
And be like, that was like the beginning of online multiplayer for us.
Sure.
So
separating them.
Yeah.
Dude, there used to be like the car. I'd see pictures of like people putting cardboard or like little like
blankets, kind of like
separators.
Yeah, kind of like when you were in school and they had those dividers.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, man.
But no, you don't want to know. GoldenEye, proximity mines, it's a wrap. I love
rockets too.
I love just putting them all in the bathroom and leaving. Just, hey man, you should go to the bathroom. Oh my goodness. So funny, dude. I learned how to play that on piano just because of that game and also because of the movies. Nice. But I don't think I could do it right now because I have no idea what the notes are.
Who's your favorite James Bond?
My favorite?
Sean Connery. Timothy Dalton, perhaps.
I'm a Sean Connery. No, I'm a Piers Morgan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Brosnan.
Pierce Morgan.
Same guy.
Hi, Pierce Morgan. 007. Hi, I'm Pierce Morgan.
Pierce Morgan. 007.
007. Reporting.
No,
I will not have sex with you before marriage. No, absolutely not.
How you say, Brosnan or Brosnan? with an M, right? Brosnan.
Brosnan.
Or with an
With
N?
an N, I think.
Piers. Okay.
Piers Morgan.
Piers.
Dude, I can't. Piers Morgan
Now
is
he's
a
trapped in
007.
your
Yeah,
head.
yeah. It's just like,
Piers Morgan.
Piers Morgan. Hi. Q, I have something to report.
Come in, 007
And
here.
then the woman wanted to have sex with me. Can you believe it? I said, no, absolutely not. I will not have sex with you.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, no, Piers to me is
Piers Morgan, 007. I like my martini shaken. I do not like it stirred.
Not stirred.
No stirred. I find it too jarring, actually.
It's jarring.
It's too much.
Little gets me clamped on teeth. My teeth start to chitter and chatter.
My teeth start to hurt a little. They're very sensitive. They start to chatter in the back.
Not a lot.
Piers Morgan, 007.
No, but Piers Brosnan. No, because to me, it's one of those things where whenever characters are like idolized in like maybe like art, like posters, you know, or even animated form. To me, he looks like what 007's supposed to look like. Like
Right.
Daniel Craig doesn't look like him. Daniel Craig
he's
is
like
just
a rougher.
Daniel
kinda-
Craig is just a guy who is the new agent. That's how
Yeah.
I see it. And he's great. I loved all his movies. I think Casino Royale was dope. I remember.
I think those. are probably some of the best 007 movies.
Yeah, definitely.
But Pierce Brosnan, I agree with you, probably encapsulates.
He encapsulates what, or even I'm
kind of
also
like with some of the Batman movies.
and mind you, Pierce Brosnan could have been a great Batman in the sense of looking like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
That's all I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Not that he could have played him in a great way, but if you think of what Bruce Wayne looked like from like animated series to this and that, Pierce Brosnan looked exactly like Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, I would say
He's a little old now.
Probably, if going off of look, Val Kilmer probably looked the most like a Batman Bruce Wayne. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Even though Christian Bale, like,
Bale-
he pulls out. He's my favorite.
Yeah,
But-
Bale never sold it for me. He was, I don't know what it was.
Actually, Michael Keaton's my favorite Batman.
I like, and I probably get flack for this. I like Clooney. I like
man,
I like Clooney.
Those movies are fun.
I liked them.
Regardless of
They were great.
people crapping on it. Like those movies are really
They
just
were fun.
They're the most comic booky out of all of
Jim
them.
Carrey Riddler.
Dude.
I mean, if that's not perfect casting,
know.
what do you mean?
I know.
You can't. There's no
It's
going
so
back
good.
on that one.
It's so good.
But yeah, no, but to me, I like all the animated stuff even more. Anyway,
Yeah.
DC never grasped me with the films, the live action. That's why they're struggling now. Like it's like they're trying too hard, and Marvel got ahead of them with
Way ahead of the
Iron
curve.
Man. And and mind you, you know what it was? The worst part is DC was using A-list superheroes. All these characters that all these kids love nowadays, these are B and C list heroes who are your favorite characters now.
I know.
Iron Man was garbage as a kid. he was like
Nobody cared.
He was
Nobody
like,
cared about him
No.
or the Hulk or whatever.
He was
in
like,
my opinion,
he
at
was
least.
literally like, I'm a little teapot turned into a superhero.
Yeah.
That's exactly what, like, and mind you, when I was watching the cartoon as a kid, War Machine was the cool one. War Machine had all
course.
the guns. Iron Man looked like, no.
He's like all scrawny compared.
No, Thor, Captain, like, it's like you knew these characters, but
Yeah.
you never cared to.
They just made cameos.
no, because
I grew up watching Spider-Man,
Spider-Man
Batman,
was number
and
one.
X-Men.
Yeah.
And out of those superhero
When it came,
shows.
yeah, when you were a kid and you grew up on superhero stuff, if Spider-Man, Wolverine, and maybe the Fantastic Four weren't in your like top 5, it was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, like X-Men were technically the Avengers of my childhood.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Like-
because we didn't really have many Avengers type shows growing up.
No, we didn't. No. And they've got them now, but like Wolverine, Gambit, Rogue, Storm, Cyclops.
Dude, I'm pissed that they still haven't made Gambit properly. Like,
Yeah.
what in all the X-Men movies?
they
he's
can't
one
do
of
it,
my-
Moncherie.
Oh,
They
dude,
can't
dude,
do it.
whenever they
They
did-
always
oh.
butcher it.
It was so bad, dude. Dude, you know what? Dude, Theo Vaughn should do a Gambit sketch. Theo Vaughn should do a Gambit sketch.
I do.
Hey, bruh.
Hey, bro.
Seriously,
Sometimes
I got
you-
a staff, bruh.
Sometimes you just gotta throw them cards in the deck, bruh.
Hey, man. Sometimes I got explosive cards, bruh.
And you know when I be eating hot chili, my eyes get red. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I take a hot dookie, like,
Yeah, Gambit has a mullet. What's up, bruh?
dude, what's up, bruh? That would be hilarious. But
Dude.
yeah, no, I don't know. creative differences or something. I don't know what it is. They did Wolverine right, in my opinion.
Yeah.
What's
Dude,
his name?
that final Logan movie
That was
was
dope.
so freaking dope.
It was good. Yeah. And what's his name kills that character?
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman is. I mean,
Dude.
if you go back and watch like the first one, maybe it's a little cringe, but like as he progressed, you realize like, oh, he's like the man as that.
One of my career highlights, and this is how silly comedy can be sometimes. Hugh Jackman came up to Roast Battle one night to guest judge.
Oh.
He freaking guest judged. And I did this thing where I ran to the kitchen. I was looking for supplies. I grabbed straws out of the kitchen. And I did this thing after a joke killed. I ran up and I just like had the straws and I just like did this and I like was screaming and he was like,
oh, that's
he
great.
was like loving it. And
I'm
I was like,
glad.
this is amazing. I got to do this like literally 5 feet. Like the belly room is so small.
Yeah, so tiny.
Yeah,
You're within
dude.
like, no, he's right behind you if you're
Yeah.
sitting in the wave area.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite
That's so
silly things
sick.
in comedy. This is like, what? What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
No, that's so funny. I love that. Yeah, but no, that's definitely how those superheroes went. You know?
Just reminiscing.
Childhood.
That's like a reminiscing breath that just happened. Just like two
that's
old
age.
ladies like
Yeah.
sitting on a porch. They're like, them were the good old days.
That was it.
Anyway,
That was it.
so let's get into this final segment, sax talk.
Oh.
So I prepped JD before the show started that basically how sax talk works is I'm going to play some sweet, sweet saxophone while he shares a story of a sexual encounter. So whenever you are ready, my friend, I will follow you with this.
I'm trying to think of a good one off the top that I had one from earlier, but I'm trying to think of. I got one.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
All right. Here we go. Sax talk? Is that what you call it? Sax talk. All right, y'all. So this was, I wonder, when was this? This was when I was a wee lad. Back in high school? College, maybe? End years of my high school days. A young strapping 18. Both me and the girl. Consensual. But of course, it was a girl that I knew, and we were spending time with each other. And we went to the movies. I remember this very vividly because I didn't have a car to take us to the movies, but she did, and she took us down the street to the movie theater. And when we went there, she let me drive her car. That was the cool part. It was like a RAV4 or something. But here's the thing. The whole night we had been, flirting, teasing each other, thinking that maybe something might happen, or maybe this is what I had in my head. And we see the movie. We come back to my place, which was my parents' place. And no one was home at this point. We were, I think my parents were out of town or something. I'm not sure. I was old enough to bring girls over. But when I took her to the spot in the home, I put the moves on her. I started kissing the neck, doing all the thingy things, licking the ears, whatever it is. All the aphrodisiacs. And then there was a point where I know we were laying down, and I think I reached over to my wallet. And you little freaks nowadays, all you have to do is swipe right to get inside. But it was a little difficult back then. We had our condominiums. Guys had them in the wallets just in case something popped off. You would hope that it wasn't expired. You would sit back and think, oh man, I hope this hasn't been here long enough. But yeah, so then I reached over and, I'm kissing her ear, and I don't know what happened, but I just remember reaching over, grabbing the condom out of the wallet. And as that happened, she was, we were still into it. We were kissing each other, this and that. And this is getting a little R-rated. I remember that at this point, her pants were down. Not completely all the way off, but down. I'm an adult. We can talk about this. And I'm sitting back thinking, oh, okay, well, she let me take her pants off. I'm going to, slide snuggie mine down a little bit in a second. And then I reached over, grabbed the condom, and pulled it within her eye line. And she was not into it. So this isn't the best sexual story. But she saw it, and literally these are her words as she's laying there looking up at me. She sees it out of her peripheral. She sees my hand grabbing it, and she looks back at me and looks at it, and she was like, oh, hell no. And I was like, wait, what? What about this situation makes you think we weren't about to hopefully, have relations? And I think now looking back, or even when it was over, I was like, oh, I think she just wanted some head. Because that's... So basically, she was the dude in the situation. And I was like, wait, you trying to get some dome, girl? This ain't what I thought was going to happen. And yeah, we had a... I remember the panties coming right up swiftly at that point. She was like... And we kissed a little bit after, and she was like, all right, well, tonight was fun. And I was like, no, it wasn't. And, I shimmied, I took that condominium and shimmied it right back into my wallet, and then I walked her outside, and I think at that young age, I immediately said goodbye to her and called a different girl and said, what are you doing tonight? So, yes, everyone, the moral to that story is the balls were blue. But yeah, I don't know. I was very much like a gentleman.
Yeah, I mean, and some ladies just be wanting head sometimes.
I mean, I think that's what she wanted, because her pants were down. Mine hadn't gotten off yet. And
I know.
You know what it was? I think I should have taken a hint when I was kissing her neck, and she subtly but firmly jammed my head down towards. I don't think she did. I think I kissed her her stomach and her her belly or whatever, and maybe those inner twangs or whatever you call those.
All of a sudden you feel a belt looped around your neck, and she buckles it behind her back.
We're strapped in, kid.
Here we go.
Are we
going skydiving? No. Muff diving.
Carpet munching. But yeah, man.
What a funny talk show. Anyway, carpet munching. So back to you guys.
I just remember, I only said that because you remember the episode where they brought up that on South Park?
No.
And you don't remember the episode where they were talking about lesbians, and Stan and all them learned about lesbians? They're like, Mom,
oh, yeah.
I want to be a lesbian.
Yeah.
I can't be a lesbian.
I used to do that when I was a kid. I don't have that vocal range anymore. But
me.
That was it. It was like,
Screw you guys.
Hey, you guys,
you had to just it out. But I remember watching.
Oh my God! You killed Kenny. You bastards.
But no, I remember my mom walking in on me and my friends watching that episode.
Yeah.
And mind you, this is before she knew South Park was risque.
Sure. So she's like, oh, it's a sweet cartoon.
No. So she heard carpet munching, knew what it was. And I was like, we were all laughing. We're just like, carpet munching.
Yeah.
9-year-olds.
Yeah, you don't know. You have no idea. You just innately, as a kid, you're like, this is supposed to be funny, and I'm going to laugh at this.
But mind you, they were literally munching on carpet, literal carpet in the show. Yeah. So it was something she heard it, but she didn't get it because she's like, the show's not showing them muff diving. So But I remember at that point, I could not watch South Park anymore.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to watch that shit.
I literally at that point, she cut off all communication, and I had friends who still watched it. So when I went to their houses, she would have to tell their moms, "Do not let him watch South Park."
Wow.
And I remember the South Park video game came out on Nintendo 64, and it was a great game. It was like 4-player multiplayer where you could use laser beams to turn characters into Mr. Hanky. I remember that was a thing. Like you were like shooting him and they were howdy. He was like a weapon or something. And I remember my friend had it. I was like, dude, you invited me over this weekend to hang out, and he like didn't want to listen to my mom's rule. He was like, well, I'm gonna play it. You can hang out in the other room and listen. I would like be in the other room, and his mom would be like, JD, don't go in there while they play that game.
What?
And like I would peek around the corner and just see. It was nothing but like a freaking. It was nothing but like a 4-player or like it was like GoldenEye for South Park.
Of course.
And I was not told. I was told I could not hang out.
Wow.
So then we would like, but then they would be like, all right, we're gonna take a picture from this game. Hey, you guys want to go skate? And we go skate in the front yard and like try to do kickflips and stuff. And I'd be like, so how was the game?
Tell me about it,
tell
guys.
me about it. How was
It's like
it?
porn video games for you. You're like,
So what was it like?
So what was it? Was
That's
it good?
cool, man.
They were like, so good.
Dude, you have no
Dude,
idea what
after
you're
this-
about to experience, JD.
They were like, we're gonna go back after this. No, I don't
no, I want to
want
be included.
Come on.
Come on. Let's work on our tray flips.
Dude, oh my goodness, I can never land a tray flip. I could do it, but I can never land it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I broke my arm literally last year skateboarding.
Oh yeah, well
so-
you were that's not fun.
Nope.
Nope. I
Put a
bruised
damper on
I
it.
bruised a bone skating in like a mini pool at this one park.
Yeah.
It wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
But like I never wanted to be
I want to get back out there though.
I'm
still
down.
having that itch.
Let me know if you want to go skate. I'm down to like
All right.
I'm down to get back
You know,
into
Joel skates and like we got there's a crew of comics that skate.
Oh really?
Yeah.
My worst thing is just skating with the unintention of rolling an ankle. That's it. If I don't roll an ankle, it's a good day.
Okay.
That's the one thing, because I remember I learned I started getting into it really consistently at the end of college, or not the middle of college, with a friend who skates, and I remember I dropped in an 8-foot bowl, and like when I dropped in, I did it right, but I was going too fast, and my wheels were like tiny from like however much time they've been eroded on,
Yeah.
and like I lost control and like rolled my left ankle so hard. And that was it. Like, it wasn't like I face planted into the bowl. Like, I landed going in, but it was just that aftermath of rolling the ankle. That's the one thing I hate. Like, even when I play basketball, I'm like, dude, as long as I don't like, tear an ace, just something crazy.
Yeah.
Just some sort
That's
of
gonna affect
some
you,
sort of injury that a
prevent you
normal
from
dude
doing other
shouldn't have
things.
to deal
I
with.
know.
I mean, I understand if I'm not taking care of myself and then you do something like that, because my cousin tore his Achilles doing that, but he was like out of shape, hadn't played in years, and was trying to play like he was in high school.
Yeah.
My thing is, I'm very cognizant of how I play.
Mm-hmm.
I go in and I'm like, okay, my knees aren't feeling it. Let's just put some jumpers up. You know, like you think about how to play. I'm like, all right, I'm not going to do as many drives to the lane. I'm not going to Euro step because I might freaking pop one of these joints out of my thing. So I don't do all that. But yeah, stupid stuff like that. Like tearing an Achilles when like your day job is like,
You're on your feet or something,
or your day
we're
job,
performing,
or your
or
day,
anything.
or even your day job, just like you work in a cubicle. Like, oh, come
Dude,
on.
it was only 6 weeks whenever that I was really restricted for my broken arm, and I got lucky. I didn't even have to wear a cast the whole time.
Oh wow.
It was literally a cast for only a hard cast only a couple days, and then I had to be in a sling for 6 weeks.
Yeah. But it was something you were just like, why did I do this?
Oh, of course. I was just like, oh, man.
Because now you got something stupid to talk about when you get on stage. Like, now you're like, all right, guys, so let's get into this.
Well, I was one of those. I would just have my arm limp. I wouldn't wear my sling on stage. I did not want to. I didn't want to do material without having freaking.
You didn't want the crowd work to go back on you, huh?
Yeah. I'm just
so how are you guys doing tonight? Yeah. What happened to your arm?
What's up, Crip? I'm like, oh shoot, whoops.
Cripple. Like
like okay.
Do
well.
people chant that nowadays?
Yeah. It's just a sea of people chanting
That's so
that.
terrible.
Dude, been awesome having you on the show. Do you want to plug anything before we wrap up?
Yeah. Hey, what's up? JD Witherspoon. Follow me. You can follow me on all social medias. I think I'm at JD Witherspoon on Instagram, Twitter, I don't know, Facebook's JD Witherspoon.
And if you're a gamer, definitely check out his channels and stuff because
JD.
His Instagram and stuff is chock full of like dope videos of him playing. And
if you want to watch
stuff.
me play video games or subscribe to my channels or follow me on Twitch or watch me live stream, I'm on there. Run JD Run is my like gamer tag. I just made it up randomly one time, but that and yeah. Oh, I also host a show on Facebook Watch, which is like, I should plug the work I'm getting.
Yeah, for sure.
I host a show on Facebook Watch called Confetti. It's a daily trivia show that you can watch 9:30 and 6:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific, and you can win money playing. You can literally play the game. We have pots of money anywhere between like 5,000 to I think the highest we've gone is 50,000 per game, and if you play and get all 13 of these questions correctly, you can win a piece of that pot, and I am sitting back, usually just making really cringy jokes for at least half an hour a day on that show. That's my job. That's my like new gig right now. Steady work.
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, man, and whatnot. I don't have any dates, no stand-up dates, but if I'm in LA, I'm probably hanging out in the back of the comedy store.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we talk in the back hallways all the time and chill back
hallways,
there. Yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show, bro.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. This was fun.
Yeah.